Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
The grand throne room was filled with tension and sorrow. The kingdom had just been through its worst war in history, and the scars of battle were fresh on everyone's faces. At the center of it all, the king sat on his throne, silent and filled with rage. In front of him, restrained by chains, was a fox, a male who had betrayed the kingdom and caused all this suffering. This fox was once close to the king, married to the king's own sister, but from the beginning the king had never accepted him. To the king, the fox was an outsider and never a true part of their family. Over time, the king's rejection and mistreatment created bitterness in the fox's heart. Feeling isolated, he eventually chose to betray the kingdom, leading them all into the war as a way to seek revenge. This betrayal tore apart families, killed countless people, and left deep wounds across the kingdom. Now, captured and facing his punishment, the fox glared defiantly at the king. His voice was filled with spit, and he spat his curse. "You may kill me, but not this. Your pride will cost you dearly. One day, the child who holds so dear will bring ruin upon you, and your kingdom will fall just as I have fallen." The guards held him still as they ended his life, but his world hung in the air, heavy and haunting. A short time later, a woman entered the throne room, clutching a newborn baby close to her chest. She was weak, struggling to stay on her feet, but her desperation pushed her forward. She was the king's sister, and in her arms was her newborn daughter, only a few hours old. With tears streaming down her face, she knelt before her brother. "My king," she pleaded, her voice shaking, "please take my daughter. She has no one else. I beg you, I sir, protect her." But the king's heart had hardened. He looked down at his sister coldly, showing no emotion, despite her desperate cries. She begged him again and again, her voice breaking, but he remained silent, refusing to respond. Finally, the king's second Luna, his other queen, stepped forward, moved by the mother's pleas. She gently took the baby into her arms and held her close. She turned to the woman and asked softly, "What is her name?" With a small, hopeful smile, the woman whispered, "Her name is Noor. She's a fox." As the second Luna held baby Noor, the mother's strength faded and she fell to the ground, taking her last breaths. In her final moment, she knew her daughter would at least be cared for, even if not by the king himself. And with that, a new chapter began, one filled with the weight of loss. On the other side of the castle, the king lay on his bed, badly injured and struggling to breathe. His kingdom was in ruins, and his heart was heavy with grief. He had lost his Luna, and the weight of that loss felt unbearable. Royal heroes surrounded him, working diligently to tend to his wounds, but their efforts could not ease the king's pain. As he looked around the room, his eyes fell upon a small figure standing in the doorway, a little Omegaverse, tears streaming down her cheeks. She was his daughter, and her cries cut through him like a knife. He signaled for her to come closer, and she rushed to his side, her small frame trembling. "Baby, don't worry, everything will be all right," the king said, his voice hoarse but comforting, trying to reassure her despite his own pain. "Appa," she sobbed, "Uma is not waking up." The king's heart sank further as he closed his eyes, trying to control the surge of emotion threatening to overwhelm him. He took a deep breath and looked at his daughter, trying to stay strong for her. "Where's your alpha twin brother?" he asked, forcing the words out through gritted teeth. "I don't know, Appa. He's not here. He's lost," she replied, her voice filled with fear and confusion. The king's expression hardened, a flicker of determination igniting with him. Guards! Guards! He called out, his voice booming with authority despite his weakened state. The healers and the little Omegaverse flinched at his sudden outburst, and within moments guards rushed into the room, their expression alert and ready to serve. "Where's my alpha son?" the king demanded, his voice filled with urgency. "Find him!" The guards nodded, quickly fanning out of the room, each determined to locate the missing prince and bring him back safely. The king clenched his fist, praying for the safety of his children, while grappling with the wounds that threatened to claim him as well. In a kingdom at war, the king had two Lunas. The first Luna sadly lost her life during the fighting, leaving behind 4 young children. The second Luna, who cared for all the children as her own, had one alpha boy named Jungkook and was pregnant with an Omega girl. After 9 months, tragedy struck again. The second Luna died while giving birth to the baby. The Omega maid took the newborn baby girl from the room, and the king barely looked at her before walking away, showing no care for his children. However, the eldest brother, Jin, who was just 12 years old, stepped forward to hold the little girl. "My baby sister," Jin said with a soft smile, kissing her forehead. "Malsa, my Omega Malsa." Although they were sad about losing their mother, the siblings found happiness in Jin's love for the new baby. Jin took on the role of caretaker, ensuring that no one felt alone. He was only 12, but he acted like a mother to his 3 younger brothers: Yoongi, the quiet and serious alpha; Namjoon, the strong third child; and Hoseok, the cheerful fourth child. Jungkook, the second Luna's son, Malsa, was the only one born after the first Luna's death. Noor, their cousin, was also part of their family. Even though the king did not want her around, Jin treated her like his own sister. He gave Noor the love and support she needed. Yoongi, however, was influenced by his father's coldness. He became cruel and distant, making his siblings afraid of him. The only one he respected was Jin, but he didn't show love to any else in the family. As the years went by, the king fell seriously ill with a disease that could not be cured. His health got worse, and he faced the result of ignoring his family for so long. With the king's death approaching, the responsibility of leading the kingdom would soon fall on Yoongi, who would have to deal with his own feelings and become the future king. The throne hall echoed with an imposing silence, its grandeur overshadowed by the presence of King. Yoongi sat on his throne, a regal figure cloaked in authority. His brothers stood before him, their postures stiff, each aware of the unyielding weight of their brother's gaze. The whisper of dissent grew louder by the day. "Weakness is not an option. We must quell this unrest before it becomes a wildfire." His voice was deep and commanding, resonating off the stone walls. "Your Majesty, our strength is vigil. We cannot ignore the voices of our people. A meeting could illuminate the grievances and show our willingness to listen." Yoongi's sharp gaze poured into Namjoon, who felt the weight of his brother's scrutiny. "Compassion is a luxury we can ill afford. The moment we show any hint of softness, we risk our authority. They must understand that the crown demands respect. Perhaps a display of power then, a show of strength, could remind them of their faith without provoking further unrest. A show of strength indeed. We will make an example of those who dare to defy us." Jungkook shifted uneasily, glancing at his brothers. "But if we push them too hard, we risk losing their loyalty. We are their rulers, but we should also be their protectors." Yoongi leaned forward, his eyes narrowing, the tension thickening around them. "Protectors? We are kings, not caretakers. Royalty is worked in fear. We will strike hard and remind them who holds the true power in this kingdom." His words left no room for dissent, and the brothers exchanged wary glances, understanding the gravity of their king's resolve. The rainy yard bustled with sound of clashing swords and shout of determination. Noor practiced fiercely, her movements sharp and calculated, drawing the attention of the trainees who admired her skill. Suddenly, a guard rushed in, his face pale and breathless. Lady Noor, urgent news. Noor halted, lowering her sword and meeting his frantic gaze. Speak. It's a Princess Malsa. She's causing a disturbance in the market, confronting an alpha who's been troubling the Omegas. Without a word, Noor's expression darkened. She shut her Keleth. Keleth is her special sword, which only she has, and no one has power to hold it except her, and moved swiftly towards the market, the guard trailing behind. As they approached the bustling market, the atmosphere shifted. Malsa stood defiantly, shouting at an opposing alpha, her petted figure a stark contrast to his bulk. You think it's amusing to bully the Omegas? You are nothing but a coward. Noor arrived just in time to see the alpha smirk, his confidence evident. And who are you to lecture me, little princess? You think your title gives you power? Noor stepped forward, her presence commanding and dark. Your arrogance blends, you fool. Know this, I will not tolerate any harm towards my people. With a swift motion, Noor drew her Keleth halfway from his shirt, the blade glinting menacingly in the sunlight. The alpha's expression shifted from amusement to fear, realizing he had underestimated her. Back away and consider this your only warning. Cross me again and I promise won't enjoy the consequences. The alpha's bravado crumbled as he took a cautious step back, his bravado dissipating under Noor's fierce gaze. Malsa looked up at Noor, her defiance replaced with admiration. You don't have to scare him like that. Sometimes fear is the only language they understand. Now let's run. Malsa nodded, a fire still freaking in her spirit, but she understood the lesson Noor imparted. As they turned to leave, Noor kept her carrot ready, the shadows of the market whispering around them. As Noor and Malsa walked side by side through the market, whispers and sideways glances followed them like shadows. The town people, with their narrow-minded judgments, made no effort to hide their disdain for Noor, the betrayer's daughter, and a fox in a realm of wolves. Look at her, walking with the princess as if she belongs. A fox among wolves? It's disgraceful. Noor kept her gaze straight ahead, her expression calm but her heart heavy with their words. They're talking again, aren't they? Noor gazed down at her, sensing the tension in her voice. You know them, Meow. They do not know their worth, nor do they see the strength with you, Noor. I hate that they call you that. You're not a traitor, you're family. Noor smiled fondly, graceful for Malsa's sport. Family is not defined by blood, you know that. As they continued towards the palace, the murmurs faded slightly, but the weight of their words lingered in the air. Noor kept her posture strong, refusing to let their ignorance get to her. Upon arriving at the palace, they were greeted by the familiar grandeur of the stone structure. Jin stood at the entrance, an elegant figure with an air of warmth that drew attention away from the negativity surrounding Noor. His long black hair flowed gracefully as he stepped forward, a gentle smile illuminating his features. You both made it back. I was worried you might be late. He swept Malsa into a gentle embrace, lifting her off the guard with a playful laugh. Taehyung, I'm not a child anymore. To me, you will always be my little Meow. He turned to Noor, his expression shifting to one of respect. Noor, thank you for keeping her safe. I appreciate you, as always. Noor nodded in response, her lips pressed into a thin line, acknowledging his word, but feeling the weight of the stars still lingering. Jin is always an important part of everyone, like mother. For Noor, he is everything because Noor doesn't have parents, and she always gets hate from mother. Just Jin was beside her when she needs it. As they entered the dining room, the aroma of delicious food filled the air. The atmosphere was lively, with the brothers chatting among themselves. Yoongi sat at the head of the table, his presence commanding yet distant, observing everything with a watchful eye. Hey Meow, you didn't bring back any snack from the market? I was too busy stopping a bully. You should have seen me. The brothers chuckled, but the laughter felt tense under Yoongi's watchful ears. You did well, Meow. Just remember to let Noor handle those situations next time. Noor kept her head down, listening to the painter around her. Did you run into more trouble today? Just the usual, you know how alphas can be. June looked at Noor, sensing her silence. Noor, eat properly. You need it after all the practice session. Noor offered a faint smile, her heart warmed by Jin's kindness, but she remained reserved. Enough chatter, we have lunch to attend to. His voice was firm, cutting through the cheerful atmosphere like a knife. The brothers immediately straightened, the air thick with the tension that followed Yoongi. We got an invitation from Golden Sun Kingdom on their festival. Noor, Namjoon and Jungkook, be ready. Okay, my majesty. Am I clear? Everyone flinched on Yoongi's alpha voice, and Noor immediately nodded while saying, Yes, my majesty. On the other side of the Golden Sun Kingdom, an Omega princess was skillfully engaged in a sword fight, her movements swift and determined. I bet you Princess Wine won't win this time. The man with elegant, light purple hair tied back swung his sword gracefully, his royal white hammock flying with each movement. This time, Lord Jimin, you just admit that an alpha like you is no match for an Omega. A smile danced on your lips as the two continued, spectators around watching awe, marveling at the rare sight of an Omega who had mastered the art of sword fighting. You were the first in the kingdom to do so, and it brought a mix of admiration and surprise to those watching. Just as you were about to launch another attack, a guard approached and bowed respectfully. Your Highness, the king has requested your presence. You exchanged a glance with Jimin, both catching your breath after the intense practice. With a slight nod to him, you sheathed your sword and followed the guard to the royal chamber. As you entered, you found your father seated comfortably in his wheelchair, his fingers gripping over the pages of an ancient book. His face softened at the sight of you, pride and warmth shining in his eyes. Ah, my warrior princess, training again? I see. You approached him, offering a gentle smile as you knelt by his side. Yes, father, I need to be ready for everything, especially with the kingdom's future still not uncertain. Your father sighed, closing his book and setting it aside. I know, my dear, if only your brother, your twin, hadn't been lost in that battle all those years ago. I hoped he would grow to take the throne. He was ynff, the perfect hire, but even without him, our kingdom stands strong. I will protect it as best as I can. Your father reached out, brushing a hand over your hair. Lovely. I know you will, Lion. You have made me proud beyond words. Yet the people still yearn for a true alpha ruler. You squeezed his hand, a hint of sadness in your eyes. The loss of your twin brother weighed heavily on the kingdom, and without an alpha hire, the future seemed unclear. But as you met your father's gaze, determination filled you. I may not be an alpha, but I will defend our land as fiercely as any ruler could. Your father smiled, his pride in you evident. You are more than enough, my child, and someday perhaps fate will bring your brother back to us. Or maybe it has something greater planned for you. In a stunning pack where no king ruled, Alpha Taehyung stood as the esteemed leader, respected and feared in equal measure. He was known for his incredible power and short temper. His presence commanded authority, and any mistake could lead to harsh consequences. His ego was so grand that it could make even the proudest beg at his feet. As Alpha Tang sat in his high seat, he was surrounded by pack members gathered to discuss pressing issues. One by one, they reported on the current state of the pack, sharing their concerns and seeking his insights on the potential solutions. What's troubling the pack today? We have spotted a rogue wolf near the eastern border. What should we do? Increase patrols and set traps. No threat should linger. The hunters report a decline in prey, which could cause tension. Send the hunting party deeper into the woods. Jenny, you lead. Some young wolves want to explore neighboring territories. They need to understand the dangers. We will arrange a training session. Should we address these issues at the full moon gathering? Yes, we will show the pack we are united. Let's prepare. ynff Alpha, which is why Taehyung felt the weight of leadership, knowing his strengths would guide the bank through any challenge.